Well, the same sticking points that we've been seeing for the last few weeks, Paul. They break down into two main points. The first is the terms of the 6-week ceasefire that's being negotiated, and that is the ratio of how many Palestinian prisoners would be released by Israel in exchange for the 40 hostages released by Hamas, those women, elderly and injured hostages still being held in Gaza. We know that a proposal on that particular issue has been tabled by the United States. We don't know the exact ratio, but we know that Israel has accepted that proposal and it's been sent to Hamas, and we expect to get an answer within 24 to 36 hours. That is what officials involved in those negotiations are saying. That is where the situation stands. But we heard from the U.S. Secretary of State just a few days ago, Anthony Blinken, saying that the chances of a deal or a deal was getting closer. That doesn't mean it's close because, as you said, there seem to be some differences still. Hamas officials saying there are deep differences remaining, particularly when it comes to the other aspects of these negotiations, and that is the end to the war and the withdrawal of Israeli troops from Gaza. Hamas saying they want a comprehensive ceasefire, a long-lasting ceasefire, and the full withdrawal of troops from Gaza, Israeli troops from Gaza. Two issues that Israel says are completely unacceptable, so those negotiations go on, Paul.
Okay, Alex, let's stick with the diplomatic picture here, and Israel's defense minister's heading over to Washington, D.C. to meet with senior U.S. officials, obviously just on the back of this trip from Anthony Blinken to Israel. What's on the agenda for this visit?
Yeah, Yoav Gallant, the Israeli defense minister, heading to Washington this afternoon. We know he will meet with his U.S. counterpart Lloyd Austin, with Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, with National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. He has a long list of requests, we understand, from Israeli officials, weapons requests, requests for the acceleration of any deliveries that are coming, and also asking for permission to purchase more F-35 and F-15 fighter jets. Now, the last time, just a few days ago, that Yoav Gallant met with Lloyd Austin, the U.S. Defense Secretary, Lloyd Austin told him to be more cognizant, more aware of the mood in Washington. And we've seen just in the last day or so senior Democrats calling on Joe Biden to roll back his support, unconditional support, as they describe it, to Israel because of the humanitarian situation on the ground. And Paul, just in the last few moments, we heard from Kamala Harris, the U.S. Vice President, who said she does not rule out consequences should Israel go into Rafah, have that military operation in the southern city of Rafah in Gaza against the U.S.'s wishes. So you can expect rather tense, rather difficult conversations for Yoav Gallant, the Israeli defense minister, speaking to his U.S. counterparts. He wants more weapons from the United States. He has a list of demands, but there is certainly less of a mood in Washington, we understand, to be forthcoming with that support for Israel. So clearly quite a difficult diplomatic trip for Yoav Gallant, Paul.